Have you ever stopped to think about how the way you handle time affects your finances? And no, I'm not talking about clocks or calendars. I'm talking about something much deeper. Your temporal preference. You know, the times when you find it hard to make financial decisions now while thinking about the future. Well, if you've ever caught yourself spending money on that expensive treat or delaying investment, then you've already encountered this. Stick with me, because today I'm going to explain what it is, how it affects your finances, and most importantly, how you can improve. Hey everyone, this is Bit by Bit, where we talk about money, personal development, and of course Bitcoin. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, because this is going to change how you view money and start making smarter financial decisions. Now, let's get into it. Have you ever heard of temporal preference? No? Well, you're about to learn how it's shaping your financial choices without you even noticing. Let's start with the basics. Temporal preference is a simple but powerful concept. It's basically your tendency to value something in the present more than something in the future. In practical terms, this is what makes you spend money on immediate pleasure rather than investing for the future, even though you know that could bring more benefits down the road. For example, it's like choosing to eat that dessert now, knowing you could be using that money to start investing in something that will bring you more return, like Bitcoin or a savings account. We all face these choices daily, and most of us underestimate how much of an impact they have on our future. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you get paid, and instead of saving or investing, you decide to spend it all on new clothes, going out to eat, and then at the end of the month you realize you have nothing saved. That's temporal preference in action. The immediate pleasure of spending in the present made you delay the benefits that could come in the future, like financial security or even the possibility of financial freedom through smart investments. And here's the real danger. 1 month turns into many months, and years later you wonder why you haven't built wealth. The truth is, it wasn't lack of income. It was a lack of control over temporal preference. Now, if you're still not seeing the impact of this, let me show you how it affects your financial life. When you have a high temporal preference, meaning when you value the present more, it leads to poor choices like impulsive spending, accumulating debt, and procrastinating on the future. This is one of the biggest enemies of your financial health. When you don't think about the consequences of now and put the future aside, you miss opportunities to grow, and in the worst case, you end up in a debt cycle. And remember, every small decision compounds. That cup of coffee you buy every day, instead of saving. Multiply that over years. That recurring impulse to upgrade your phone every year instead of investing. Add that too. These micro decisions shape your macro future. That's why people who manage their temporal preference better tend to make smarter decisions, like investing for the future and prioritizing building wealth. People with low temporal preference are those who prioritize what's coming later. They're not worried about immediate satisfaction, but about financial stability, about the freedom to choose their future. They start saving early, investing, and planning so they can live freely in the future without relying on a job or salary. And you know what's powerful? Once you lower your temporal preference, the satisfaction of investing for the future often becomes greater than any short-term pleasure. Now, the good news is that you can improve your temporal preference, and I'm going to give you some practical tips to start acting differently and focusing more on the future without sacrificing your quality of life today. The first tip is simple but effective. Start with small habits. You can start by saving a small part of your income every month, even if it's a small amount, and putting it into an investment. By doing this, you're creating a habit of thinking about the future, and over time, it will become automatic. The low-end goal is not to completely stop enjoying life in the present, but to balance it. So the future version of you is grateful for the decisions you make today. The second tip is setting clear goals for the future. Having something big to reach, like a comfortable retirement or buying a house, can help you reduce immediate desires and focus on what truly matters. Ask yourself, what do I really want to achieve in 5, 10, or 20 years? With a concrete goal in mind, it's easier to make decisions that will help you reach that future. Goals give direction, and direction reduces distraction. And the third tip, which works really well for curbing impulsive spending, is the 30-minute rule. When you feel like buying something unplanned, give yourself 30 minutes to pause before making a decision. This helps calm your mind and gives you time to think about the consequences. A lot of the time, the urge to buy will pass, and you'll end up saving that money to invest in the future. Think of it as creating a protective buffer between your emotions and your wallet. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin. If you're wondering how it fits into this, here it is. Bitcoin can be a powerful tool to help you improve your temporal preference. When you invest in Bitcoin, you're making a long-term choice. The market volatility can be challenging, but over the long term, Bitcoin has proven to be an excellent store of value. In other words, by investing in Bitcoin, you're thinking about the future, and that's the kind of mindset you need to start changing your temporal preference. Bitcoin teaches discipline. It makes you think twice before spending because you know that every dollar spent today could have been more Bitcoin saved for tomorrow. In fact, many people report that once they start stacking Bitcoin, they naturally cut down on bad habits. Why? Because their brain reframes the value of money. Suddenly, that cigarette, that drink, or that impulse purchase is no longer just a few bucks. It's a fraction of Bitcoin they could be saving. And this shift in perspective is what truly transforms financial behavior. Bitcoin is more than just a digital asset. It's a tool for shaping habits and lowering your temporal preference. So, to sum it up, temporal preference is a decisive factor in your finances. The more you delay immediate gratification and focus on the future, the better financial decisions you'll make. Start with small steps, set goals for the future, and maybe even invest in something like Bitcoin that could give you financial freedom. And remember, changing habits takes time, but you're on the right track. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like so more people can learn how to improve their finances and make smarter decisions. Leave a comment below. Have you ever caught yourself delaying your financial goals? Let's share ideas. See you in the next video.